So you want to know how to budget paycheck to paycheck. You want to know how to place your money. You want to make sure that you have your bills all paid for, all your necessities accounted for, whether it comes to food, gas, all of that. So that's what I'm going to show you guys in this video. I'm going to tell you what you need to know, and how you can paycheck to paycheck budget. So if you're interested, I hope you guys stay tuned. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button for more videos on how to, as well as my budgeting journey. And make sure you hit that little alarm bell so you can be notified when I post a new video. So first things first, a lot of times if you're looking into budgeting, you may be intimidated because you see a lot of these videos, resources, ads about all these different budgeting items that you need, right? And trust me, I am one of those people who like to use a lot of budgeting things. But when it comes down to it, the only thing you really need, if you don't have all the other stuff, is a piece of paper and a pen. All you need specifically, you guys, is a piece of paper and a pen so you can write things down. Now, if you're like me and you want to be extra and you want to give a little razzle dazzle, 3 sheets that I use is the paycheck budget, right? As well as a calendar, and I'm also going to use a bill tracker. But again, if you don't have these things, or these are things that you're not interested in, or this intimidates you and you're just like, listen, my budget's tight, that's why I'm trying to figure out how to paycheck to paycheck budget, a piece of pen and a piece of paper and a pen. So the next thing is, what do you need to know, right? You're trying to figure out how to paycheck budget. What do you need to know? First things first is you need to know the frequency you get paid. So do you get paid bi-weekly? Do you get paid the 1st and the 15th of the month? Do you get paid every Thursday? Do you get paid every Friday? And you're like, why do we need to know that? Because this determines how many paycheck to paycheck budgets you're going to use, right? So here's a paycheck sheet. If you get paid every Friday and that month there's 5 Fridays, that means that you need to have this 5 times, right? And basically you just print them off 5 times. Same thing with your piece of paper and pen. If you have a piece of paper and pen, you need to do your paycheck budget 5 times on a separate piece of paper and with the pen. That's first thing. The second thing you definitely need to know is your income. How much money do you bring in? Now, I am aware that not everybody has stable income, right? Where their income is the same amount every week, every month, every day. So when budgeting, I like to budget worst case scenario. For example, if you are a server, you get paid every Friday. Your worst case scenario, your budget, you maybe made $400, budget that out. It's better to budget under and see if your money can pay all your bills and pay all your necessities than it is to over budget, right? That way you can see what wiggle room you have. Another thing is side hustles. A lot of people budget their side hustle income. And if you're like a person like me who did DoorDash, sometimes you know that the money is not always accurate. Do your worst case budget, because your bills are going to be your bills and they're not going to change. And you want to make sure that your budget can cover your income at the worst possible case. The third need to know is you need to know all of your bills, all of your expenses, and all of your debt. Where does your money need to go? When you're going to budget out, right? Have in your mind, write on that piece of paper and that pen, what all do you need to pay? Do you have a mortgage? Do you have a rent, internet, electricity, water, cable, subscriptions, all of these different things? And then those are your bills. But what about your expenses? You got to eat, right? You got to put gas in your car, or maybe you have to pay for a bus pass. You need to understand and know and list all of this, including your debt. The debt that is your bills are owed. So if you have a credit card and your bill is due and it's always $100, that means that you need $100 that month and from whatever paycheck frequency that you have. And then the final thing you need to know is when your bills are due. So if you have that credit card bill, if it's due on the 13th, this is very important. This is why I say also I use a calendar and I use a bill tracker, right? Knowing when your bills are due is very important to ensure that your paycheck frequency and your bill can actually be paid. So now that we know what we need and what we need to know, we're gonna get right into how to paycheck budget. So the first thing that I like to use is the bill tracker. Again, if you do not have a specific bill tracker, that is okay. You guys can simply use a pen and a blank sheet of paper. However, I have everything you see in this video is available at hyperbymo.com as printables. So, bill tracker. I like to do bill trackers just to keep afloat with every bill that I have. So for this, I'm gonna use an example person and we're gonna do their bills. So we're gonna call this person Johnny. And their first bill that they're gonna have is their rent, right? Most people have rent or a mortgage. So this person is gonna have $1,250 and it's gonna be due on the first of every month. This right here is just a check bar to say, hey, they paid January, February, March, April, May, you know, going through all the months. So the second bill for this person is gonna be their internet. Okay, and so internet for this person is gonna cost them $50 and it's gonna be due on the 10th. Again, this is just so we know what all is due. So you make sure you pay every bill every month, right? That's the goal of budgeting your money, one of the goals, aside from saving and paying off debt and things like that. So that's the internet. The next thing is gonna be electricity. Okay, and for this person, again, we're gonna budget worst case scenario. Electricity is a variable expense, right? It changes sometimes. But this person they say by themselves, so we're just gonna say it's $50. And that electricity bill every month is due on the 12th. The next thing we have after that is their phone bill. And that phone bill is gonna cost $100. And that bill is gonna be due on the 21st. The next bill after that is their car insurance. Okay, and that bill is gonna be $150. And that is gonna be due on the 23rd of every month. So these are their bills, not expenses, just the bills. For the bill tracker, so when this person pays off each month, they can go ahead and check it through. Very simple. Sometimes it can be hard, but make sure you check your emails. Make sure you get into all the apps that you use to pay your bills. Sometimes it's hard to check those subscriptions, right? If you have Apple Music for $5, you want to write that down as well. If you have Hulu, Netflix, any subscriptions like that, every bill that you can think of that they're going to take money out of your account, you want to make sure you document in your bill tracker. Next thing you want to do is pull out that calendar, or again, if you're using a pen and a piece of paper, you can simply write it down, which you've already done for your bill tracker. However, for some people, especially when you're first starting off doing a paycheck to paycheck budget, having an actual calendar and allowing you to visualize stuff makes you see it a little bit better, right? It allows you to put things into perspective. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this bill tracker right here. And then as you can see, this calendar is numbered for November, the month of November, which starts on a Tuesday. So rent is $1,250, right? So if we're budgeting out this person's November, we're gonna just assume that their rent is already paid because it's November, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and put their number 1 right here for their next month's rent, okay? So this is gonna be December rent, which is gonna be due. And I'm gonna put that here, December rent. So that's what you wanna do. You wanna write down when your bills are due on your calendar. So December's rent, November's rent is on the 1st, but again, we're going over November, and we're gonna assume here that this person has that rent already. So the second bill is gonna be the internet, and that's gonna be on the 10th, okay? So the 10th, and we're gonna put internet bill. Then we're gonna go ahead and do electricity, which is on the 12th. Electricity bill. And then we're gonna do the phone bill, which is on the 21st, which ends up being on a Monday. So we're gonna say phone bill. And then finally, car insurance on the 23rd. Car insurance. Okay, So now that we have all of these bills we have all these bills listed on the calendar, we want to go back to that frequency, right? How often does this person get paid? So in this scenario, this person is going to get paid every week, every Friday, right? So every Friday, this person's getting paid. Again, you want to know how much is your income, right? And we want to do worst case scenario. So we're going to say this person every Friday is bringing in, worst case scenario, $600 a week, okay? Worst case for this person, right? So we're going to also put here payday. 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 Now, this next tactic, not everybody uses it, right? But some people would prefer to highlight, so that's what we're gonna do. However, yeah, you can highlight each specific day you get paid to then appoint what money is going to which bill. I hope that makes some type of sense to you guys. Again, you're gonna highlight. So I'm gonna pull out my highlighters over here. So we have some highlighters, and you're gonna highlight each pay day to appoint which bill which payday is gonna cover each bill. So for me personally, I am not the type of person where I like to just do one payday for my rent. Rent and mortgage is usually people's like most expensive bill. Usually, not always. So for me, I actually take a little from each bill, and that's what you're gonna see when we do this person's paycheck to paycheck. We're gonna do specifically their first paycheck. So I'm gonna put a little bit towards the rent for each one, right? Which makes it hard if you color code it, because this person gets paid 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So you're gonna see 4 different colors on December's rent. But I think you guys can see where I'm going with this. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this to the side, and then we're gonna pull out this person's paycheck budget. And as we go through the paycheck, we're gonna go and begin to look through who's getting what paycheck is gonna pay for what bill. So to fill in this paycheck sheet, we're gonna go ahead and say, hey, this is paycheck number 1 of month November, okay? And we're gonna say in this person's account, they currently have $0. They're gonna bring in $600, totaling to $600 budgeted, right? So you have your budgeted column for how much you plan on getting, worst case scenario. But what if this person actually brings in $800? So then they go back, look over the budget, and you put in your actual, but we'll go over that as well. So budgeted is $600. So the first paycheck this person gets in November is on the 4th. Right? So let's go ahead and highlight, we'll do it in blue, highlight this in blue, there we go. So you know they can pay their internet bill, which is gonna cost them $50, it's due on the 10th. You gotta do it from the 4th because the next payday is on the 11th after the bill is due. So we're gonna pay the internet bill from that budget there. So right now what you do, so while budgeting for this empty document, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 different sections. You can title the sections whatever you choose, right? I prefer to go in and name bills, right? This is essential, those 4 walls, the household, things that are due, you need to have it due. So I decide usually to go in with my rent and my internet. We're gonna say internet because this is gonna get paid with internet. And that is gonna be due on the 10th. And you're gonna pay $50. Now your rent is gonna be due on the 1st of December. And you're thinking, okay, well this person's rent is $1,250. I only made $600. What am I gonna do? Like I said prior to, I like to take a little bit from each check. So you have $1,250. This month, I get paid 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're gonna divide this by 4. That's $312.50. So that's what we're gonna put towards this person's rent that's due in December. $312.50. $312.50. Which again, I was saying, December rent, when it's time to color coordinate it, you're gonna have like a little bit of each one. If that makes any type of sense to you guys. So now we have $312.50 plus 50 is going towards our bills. That's this person's bills. That's $362.50, right? $362.50. The person made $600. We're gonna minus 600. Now you have $237.50 to get you through the rest of this week, because they get paid weekly. So they can go ahead and put maybe expenses next. What expenses does this person have? Maybe the first expense they have is food. People have to eat, and they're gonna budget out, let's say $50 for grocery shopping. This is a single person. They could be able to afford that $50 worth of food. Next thing they maybe have is gas for their car. And so they're gonna budget out $25. Then they may also have, trying to think, maybe a savings account, right? Or we can put that over here, but we'll just put save. And they wanna save $100. So now they're gonna save $100. Okay, so let's add that up. That should be $175, so plus $175. Now they have $62.50 left, right? So $175 for their food, gas, and their savings account. Okay? And then when you subtract the $175 from the remaining $237.50, you have $62.52 left. $62.50 left. Now maybe they want to put a little bit money towards their sinking funds. Maybe they have a sinking fund budget where they put a little bit of money towards Christmas, or they put a little bit of money towards car repairs, divide it up any way they want. So we're gonna go ahead and just title this others for the sake of this instruction. So we're gonna say, hey, they got a sinking fund and they wanna put $25 towards their sinking fund. Very possible. And then let's say they have a credit card. So we're gonna say they have $62.50 left. We're gonna plus $25. Now they have $37.50 left. So they have a credit card and they wanna give it $37.50. So $37.50 plus 25 should give that person $62.50, leaving them with $0. So this is how they paycheck to paycheck budget, and they do a zero-based budget, right? A lot of people don't like the idea of having $0 in their account, but that doesn't mean that, right? It just means that every dollar has a job. $600 they brought in, they have $100 for saving. Maybe they just keep that in that same checking account, which people can do. I don't recommend it. $50 for food because they get paid weekly, right? And then they make sure every bill is covered for each one. So let's go back to the calendar here and go to the next payday. You can see here you get paid, this person gets paid again on the 11th. Well, the next bill is the 12th, and on the 12th, it's $50 for electricity. If every day they're doing worst case scenario budgeting of $600, they have enough dollars to put $50 towards that electricity bill. So they're gonna pay their electricity bill with this payday, right? And then they're also gonna do another 1/4 towards their next rent. So now a fourth of their rent is $312.50. So you have $312.50 times 2. Half their rent is covered, $625. So then you have the following payday, which is in purple we're gonna use, okay? The next bill that they have from following the 18th would be the 21st and the 23rd. So their phone bill and their car insurance bill. So that means that this paycheck is gonna be heavier on bills because you still have your $312 referencing your rent, and then now you have 2 bills. So something they could have done was like, hey, I'm gonna pay part of my phone bill, maybe $50 from this paycheck because I only had a $50 bill from there, you know? But let's say they didn't do that. So this bill, they decided to pay their phone bill, which is $100, and then car insurance bill, which is $150. So that's going to be $250 plus $312.50. That's $562.50. If we minus that from $600, they only have $37.50 to eat, gas, whatever. So you want to divvy up your paychecks and ensure that the paychecks can cover your bills and any other expenses to alleviate you from racking up more debt by charging credit cards. And we're gonna put, again, 1/4 in purple. Then we have the final day bill in the month of November, and that one is gonna just be in orange. And the only bill you need to have a little bit of money for this would be your rent. So that means that if you have $600, which is this person's worst case, you minus the $312.50, that person has $287.50 left over, which means, hey, I can go to pay off more of my credit card, I can do a little bit more savings, put a little bit more towards my sinking fund, put more towards Christmas gifts. It's November, right before Christmas, or even Black Friday shopping, because I think that is Black Friday. So this was a quick and simple video on how you guys are able to paycheck budget. I hope this explained it all very well for you guys. Again, the 3 tools I use here is a bill tracker, just a blank calendar, as well as a blank paycheck budget. And the things you need to know, if you don't have this, you don't need it. You can use a piece of paper and a pen. But the things you need to know is your income. How much are you bringing in? Worst case scenario. The frequency that you get paid. Are you getting paid weekly, bi-weekly, bi-monthly, once every 6 months? What is the frequency you're getting paid? As well as a list of all your bills, expenses, and debt. And finally, when all your bills, expenses, and debt are due. This will help you differentiate when you can pay each bill. The calendar helps you with that by color coding, guys. Again, when it comes to rent, I like to take a little bit from each paycheck that I'm getting, so that way it softens the blow of how much money is coming out of each paycheck. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.